Janet, try it like it graded. And for today's tag, we're going to use a technique that I love working with and kind of default to quite often, which is working with tissue paper. And so I have a green tag in front of me, and I'm just going to cover the side of it with matte Mod Podge. It could be anything. White glue, doesn't matter. And then I've wrinkled up my tissue paper, and I want to keep those wrinkles in there. And I'm going to put that onto my tag, and then I'm going to go over the top of it with the Mod Podge, and then I'm probably going to hit it with a heat tool to let it dry. And then we'll move forward with embellishing what we have in front of us. So what we want to do is get the tissue paper to stick down, and once the glue or the Mod Podge dries, we'll be able to see through. And if you get a tear like this, don't worry about it. It's all good and it's all texture. So if you don't want it to tear around the edge, you can see here I'm being a little aggressive. If you don't want it, you can just, layer right on top of it again and build up some layer there. All right, so I'll be back in a second after I get this dry. All right, so now that this is dry, I'm going to add another layer in with Distressed Oxide in Shabby Shutters, and I am going to go around the edges, and I am letting it kind of blend into the tag. All right, and then I'm going to actually go over the top of what I just did with the tissue paper and let that get some of that color as well. All right, so that's a light application there. And I'm just going to clean this up so I don't get it on anything else. All right. All right, so now I'm going to do just a little bit of splatter over the tag, and you can see here I have mixed up some paint with water on my glass mat. I'm not completely sure about the color, but it is in the green family. It's got some glitter to it. So we'll just do a light splattering, and you can see it's really subtle. So I'm okay with that. I was thinking a little bit darker green, but I'm not actually finding the color that I was interested in. So I think we're going to go with that. And then I think I will just do some touch up with this color along the edges, just to give it a few little strokes here and there, and over the wrinkled area, just to kind of coordinate that color in here a little bit. All right, so just kind of dabbing, splashing. All right, I think that's going to be enough, and then I'm going to dry it. Okay, and then you can see here that while I was working on the side here, I've had these flowers sitting here that are shiny, and I'll have to do a tutorial on these, but basically this is glue that was applied to film and let dry, and then I peeled it off. So I'm going to place these onto the tag, and I'm going to use a little bit of glue to hold them in place, because of course the glue that's on the back here is dry. So I'm just going to go over them with a little bit of glue. I'm going to let some of them hang off the edge, and I'll cut off the excess. But these were really fun to make, and I wanted to do something that I used them for. So this is what I came up with so far, and I'm just placing them to see where I want them. I also made circles. You can see those there. I'm not sure I'm going to use them, but I'm going to do something like that. And I'm going to add some flat back pearls, and these come from Buttons Galore and More. I'll put a link to those down below. But I like those right in the center. Alright, and then I have this word that says sparkle. Trying to decide where I want it. Kind of like it up there, but I do want it a little shorter. So I'm going to cut that down. And let's, instead of using the glue, I think I might lift that up with some foam tape. And there we go. There is our sparkly tag for this week.